Ryan Reynolds and Scarlett Johansson may not have had the most glamorous of marriages, but their history is rich with stories and achievements. Welcome to Stats In. If you're just joining us, please subscribe and don't forget to turn on notifications bell for more video. Ryan Reynolds and Scarlett Johansson may just be two of the biggest stars in Hollywood today. And the fact that they are so individually high-profile often makes us forget that the pair were once married during their pre-Marvel era. The Deadpool and Black Widow actors have surely raised some eyebrows as a couple, but at the time, their romance was a whirlwind and passionate affair. However, considering how Reynolds has been so happily married to his Green Lantern co-star, Blake Lively, it is sometimes difficult to wrap one's head around the fact that Johansson was once linked so intimately with him. But despite their short-lived marriage, Reynolds and Johansson did share some good bits of history that even Blake Lively has not been able to replicate. For an actor as high-profile as Scarlett Johansson, her romantic life has also racked up some impressive names over the years, including Jude Law, Sean Penn, Josh Hartnett, and Jared Leto. However, Ryan Reynolds was the first one to sweep her off her feet and make her squeal with delight when he proposed in 2008. During the 3 years they spent together as a couple from 2007 to 2010, Reynolds and Johansson accomplished many milestones in their professional careers. Starting from Reynolds making his SNL debut to Johansson releasing her first album as a singer, their history comes off as rich and full of promise. In 2009, a year into their marriage, Ryan Reynolds hosted Saturday Night Live for the first and only time to date in his career. The Deadpool actor, who has become so infamous in the world of comedy, delivered a monologue, performed a sketch, and bid goodnight to the audience, all while Johansson stood by his side, supporting her beau. Meanwhile, her impressive cameo role drew cheers from the crowd who were more than happy to welcome her back. While Ryan Reynolds' only SNL appearance may have a romantic connotation to it, Blake Lively's SNL history is colored by bad performances and poor reviews. Not only was her past gig criticized for being painfully unfunny and boring, but she had to step back from her upcoming hosting duties as well amid the alleged smear campaign drama against It Ends With Us co-star Justin Baldoni. According to Blake Lively's legal complaint, Baldoni has repeatedly created situations on set that could be construed as disturbing and directed comments at her that made Lively feel ogled and exposed and deeply uncomfortable. As a result of the negative response to the drama, Lively did not believe she could proceed with public appearances or events without being forced to openly discuss what happened on set. Via Deadline, Blake Lively was booked to host the premiere episode of SNL's 50th anniversary, an important event that would have definitely come with a priceless cameo from Ryan Reynolds as well. However, with a lawsuit on the way, Lively's bleak streak seems to have only begun with her failed attempt at hosting SNL on its 50th anniversary. Scarlett Johansson passed over other scripts to work with Jonathan Glazer on his third film. Welcome to Stats In. If you're just joining us, please subscribe and don't forget to turn on notifications bell for more video. Before his critically acclaimed film The Zone of Interest, Jonathan Glazer collaborated with Scarlett Johansson in the sci-fi film Under the Skin. Johansson was riding high on the success of her Marvel films at the time and took a break to star in indie films. While she received several scripts, she sought out Glazer's film, which originally had a very different story. Scarlett Johansson starred as an alien who preys on men in Scotland in Jonathan Glazer's third film, Under the Skin. Glazer decided to adapt Michel Faber's novel of the same name early in 2000 after his debut film, but the lack of required technology delayed the start of production. When Glazer finally decided to make the film, Johansson was looking for an indie film to break away from her commercial films. Johansson revealed to The Guardian that she heard about Glazer's film and found the premise interesting. She met with the director, who had initially planned to cast completely new actors in the roles. When the Black Widow star met Jonathan Glazer, he was still figuring out his film and what had attracted him to the story. Johansson shared that the concept of an alien gave Glazer the freedom to create a character without any judgment. Johansson shared with The Guardian, "I heard Jonathan was making a film, and originally it was a very different story. But I met him, and it was very clear that he was struggling to figure out what he was doing with it, and what had attracted him to it. It wasn't his passion project, but there was something in the idea of having a character that was an alien that could give him the freedom to be completely observant without any judgment. However, the Scoop actress was also interested in the alien character. She admitted that it was challenging to play a character that has no relationship to any emotions. Her intuition at the time was to just have confidence and play the character, even though she didn't know how to do it before the film. She shared, "I think we were both interested in that. I thought it would be incredibly challenging to play a character that's free of judgment, that has no relationship to any emotion I could relate to. And for me, at this point, I think it much more interesting for me to look at something and know that I can play it, but not know how, rather than to look at something and go, I can do that, and then just do it." The project didn't happen immediately, as the director and the actress had conversations over the years before the filming even began. In these years, the story and script changed considerably, and Johansson had become an integral part of the creative process. Starring in Under the Skin was no small feat for Scarlett Johansson. The film premiered at the Telluride Film Festival and was released in theaters a year later. The reactions were extreme, with some finding it to be a great cinematic experience, while others believed that it was a laughable attempt at an alien movie. Johansson shared with The Guardian that the film was received with an even split of cheering and boos when it was released at the Venice Film Festival. It was the first time she had watched a film with an audience, and she was on a mezzanine, which made her feel super exposed to the audience. She shared that she didn't know how to react to the audience's reactions. She shared, "It was very strange. It was the first time I had seen the film with an audience, and the first time I saw the film finished. And I was on this huge mezzanine, so I felt super exposed. Then at the end, when the lights came up, there was this sound of people cheering and booing at the same time, but with equal gusto. I didn't know how to react to it." However, she eventually learned from Glazer that a mixed reaction was far better than everyone having a middle ground opinion. The film's critical acclaim did not help it succeed in theaters, as the film bombed badly. Before being pals with Ryan Reynolds, Hugh Jackman was a friend of Scarlett Johansson, who he met on the sets of Scoop and The Prestige. Welcome to Stats In. If you're just joining us, please subscribe and don't forget to turn on notifications bell for more video. Though Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman are nowadays setting friendship goals for the masses, it wasn't always like that. Deadpool and Wolverine have been famous for their enmity in the Marvel comics, and while it wasn't the same in real life, Reynolds and Jackman took their sweet time to build their friendship and equation over time. Now, we see the two support each other in every endeavor. Not just Reynolds, but Jackman has also grown close to the Deadpool star's family, with him showing up at the premiere of It Ends With Us, starring Reynolds' wife, Blake Lively. Interestingly, Jackman entered Reynolds' life when he was dating Scarlett Johansson back in the mid-2000s. Before being best pals with Ryan Reynolds, Hugh Jackman was a great friend of actress Scarlett Johansson. The Wolverine actor met the Black Widow actress on the sets of Scoop and The Prestige, two high-profile movies in which they starred together. Johansson was just 22 years old when she was finding her place in the industry, and Jackman grew protective of her. So, when news spread that Johansson and Ryan Reynolds were inching toward a deeper commitment, Jackman supported the couple and gave his